Hi, I'm Jamie.
I'm Jen.
Welcome to our podcast, All Things Unbroken.
Life breaks us in ways we never expect, but God rebuilds us in ways we could never imagine.
So come hang with us as we talk about relationships, motherhood, wellness, grief, recovery.
And the slow, beautiful process of becoming unbroken. Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. I'm tired today.
Yeah,
How about you?
same. A little sleepy, but it's okay.
Is it rainy in Oklahoma?
I don't think it's rainy right now, but it's super cold.
Okay. So it's like it's misting here.
Mm,
Um,
yeah. Does the cold weather make you more tired?
I mean, normally not, but I think I'm just exhausted just from like the week of, travel, holiday, family. And I know you just recently didn't feel very well, so I mean you can speak on that, but I just think I'm just tired from that. And then also, we just recently lost one of our farm animals, and so that kind of made me stressed out
Mm,
too.
yeah.
So yeah, but it's okay. Like I also feel like I've been very like productive in the last week as well. So I think that could go hand in hand. So why don't you, how are you doing today? Like it's afternoon. We usually meet in the mornings, but
Yeah. No,
how's your
that's
day
good.
been? Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like you had a good holiday, but it's
Hmm.
like it's just sometimes I have to like recover from our our holidays or our vacations or things like that. So
Yeah.
it's like feeling the after effects. I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. I think last week, unfortunately, I had to miss our family dinner on
I
Thanksgiving
know.
because I was sick. And I had a hard time bouncing back for some reason for a couple days. So it wasn't like a pleasant, like I was home by myself all day and it wasn't pleasant. It was kind of miserable and boring and but I don't know. I don't want to be a downer. So I'll
You're not
just
being a
say,
downer. So
yeah,
what happened?
I'll just say, um, but it's all good now. Feeling good. I think just the cold weather probably makes me a little more like, I don't know, a little more sleepy. It's getting dark so early now, and then it's so cold that, it's kind of like hibernation mode.
So I will say, because I know you were pretty sick for a couple days because you were texting back and forth. And then, I mean, even since then, though, I mean, you've gone, worked out a couple times, you got back out and did your thing, and you even did like the Black Friday shopping. So I feel like you bounced back when you're still tired, but you bounced back good. Like that's not being a downer. Sometimes I think
Yeah.
that our bodies also just need to reset. Like you've been going a lot, you know? I mean, sometimes like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry it was
me
over
too.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It hit me a few, like I want to say 2 or 3 days before. So I thought I would be better by Thursday, and I just still wasn't quite there because I couldn't sleep. You know how like if you rest all day and then you can't sleep. Anyway, it was kind of like that, just compounded on itself. But anyway, no, I get it. I mean, it sounds like you were going too. And
But I've been like, I was so proud of myself right now because the last week since Wednesday, like we were traveling, we hosted, we had family in. And even yesterday, I got to go, I drove to Oklahoma, helped a friend do some holiday things that recently just lost her mom. Um, got to be with her, one of my lifelong friends, and like got to be home last night at 8. I still got up today and did all the things I needed to. And even though I'm tired right now, I'm like, okay, like I'm accomplished, right? So I feel like I can be tired, but also be like, it's okay. Like sometimes we're just gonna have tired seasons, right? Like I'm not gonna
yeah,
get like depressed about it. Like in other seasons, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna be like, I don't want to be cranky about it, but it's also just like tonight, I'm just gonna try to be in bed early, you know? And
yeah,
also like last night when I did get home, I ended up watching like a show, and that was my choice because I wanted to like decompress. Decompress is the word.
that's a
I
good
had
word for the
I
day.
had, I had therapy today, so it was good this morning.
So
Therapy was
you're
good.
probably your mindset is already like in the zone, probably. You've already thought
Yeah.
through a lot of things.
Kind of. I actually vented a lot to her today. Not vented, but like went through a lot of things. I do have a random question for you.
Okay.
Did you do the elf on the shelf?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually have two of them, one for each. Like why do we do this to ourselves?
So I'm going to throw this out there and to anyone listening, I do not judge what anyone does in their house. I have friends that go like above and beyond. I have some friends that don't do any. I have some that do minimal. Obviously, well, you're going to do it. You still have two right now. Your daughter's a little older, but your son is still like in it,
Yeah, and
right?
actually this is the first year where he was like, "Mom, is this stuff real?" And I was like, "What are you saying to me?" Like I kind of tested it out for a while, and I was like, "Do you really want to ask questions like this?" I was trying to get a feel, and he was like, "Yes." Like he was very adamantly like, "I want to know." Like he's 9. My daughter was a few years older than that by the time she stopped. Anyway, So I gave him a straightforward answer, and he was not happy with me. So I will just say to not spoil things in case other little ears are hearing. I'll just say the magic is a little different in our house this year, but
I know. Should
they
we put a
still
disclaimer on here that we're
they
talking about?
yeah. But I will say they still wanted the elves, and so
Okay. Well,
they showed up today.
I feel like it is the spirit of it, the
Mhm.
magic, but also in this mindset where we have just the hustle and the bustle and the things like for us, like the reason is Jesus's birthday. And so, I mean, my daughter's only 4, so I'm just figuring out like which direction we're going, right? Which direction we're going. And I actually spoke about that with my therapist for like 20 minutes about that. And so I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we are going. I don't know if our little elf will show up or not. I haven't decided if we're going to allow him in our house or not. And not in a bad way. I just haven't decided
Gotcha.
that. I
Yeah.
haven't decided yet.
Okay, we'll keep us posted.
I will. I'll let you know. Because I
No
also like
shame either way.
no, but I also like I'm really like about minimalizing and being simple.
Yeah.
I really am trying to get in that world and I'm not just trying to say it. And I think that sometimes I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure that out with where I want to go because
Yeah.
I think so much of our culture and society and even like the social media, we see all these things and it's so easy to keep up with the Joneses and give them the things. Well, even though I'm able to maybe afford them, I don't necessarily want to do that right now at this age. Like
Yeah.
I don't because I don't know. That's a good topic though for me. Like I don't know
No,
what
I
I
get
want to
it.
do. But she again, I only have a little one, so I don't know. I've watched how my friends have done the things like don't do that, you should do this type of thing. So I'm just kind of putting my feelers. That's why I asked you because you have pretty balanced kids. They seem like they get hard work and they understand things. I
Yeah,
don't know. You know?
absolutely. It's just a fun little thing. So it comes with a book. You read the book,
Yeah,
and
I
then the
have
thing
one.
shows up. Oh,
We
okay.
we
It's
did
not.
it. We did he ours is sparkles. It showed up the last year. It just may not show up this year.
Oh, that's a whole different story then, because it's like you already set the precedent.
But she
Is she
was,
gonna
yeah,
remember?
I mean,
I
she
don't
might,
know. I
but
feel like at the age my kids would have been like, Mom, like they would
I,
know.
I don't know if because he didn't do a lot of crazy things. We just, he just floated places. It was never like a
Okay.
huge thing.
That's what I was going to say. Like
Yes.
ours have not been like into a lot of shenanigans. They just seem to be in different places. Every day we see them. Every now and then I think one day they did have a Nerf war last year. So every now and then there's been cute little things like that happening, but normally it's just they just show up in different places. So when the kids would get up in the morning, they would be like
Yeah.
first thing they look for, and it's just kind of fun. And sometimes it'd be like, oh, we forgot, and then we'd have to do,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
I don't know. That was really random rant. I was just curious. That was literally a 20-minute conversation that I had with her. And she's even more simplistic than that. And like, she literally said, don't take my advice because they because but we're all different, right? It just shows you that
yeah,
everyone's different, and I don't think there's a right and wrong. And it's about that motherhood thing, like just the mom guilt and what you're teaching them and what they're thinking about, and are we going to ruin their
yeah,
lives? Am I going to have her not know how to do things? You know, we go down a spiral, right? And I'm trying not to do
yeah.
that. Holidays are kind of they can be very a lot of pressure. Just
A
it can be
lot
a
of
lot of pressure.
pressure. Yeah. Like more pressure. Like we already have a lot of pressure in general, and then it just adds to it. So, no, I get it. To each their own. Have
Do each
fun.
their own. Have fun. Do your thing. They're
Yeah.
only little once.
Have a good
Uh,
time. No shame. You can't do it
no.
all. And
Yeah.
now I think we're to the stage where I think they will be surprising each other, if that makes sense. So I think
Hmm.
that'll be like a fun new phase for us.
Yeah.
So be warned if your child asks you to be very blunt about this topic and they're 9, maybe just don't because I did and the
So
fallout was pretty severe.
here's what someone what did he do?
Um, it, there was some heartbreak
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
I definitely remember hearing the phrase, even though I said, like you said, you wanted to know, I definitely got a, but you're the parent and you should have known better than to tell me this. And I was like, ooh, yeah, true.
So here's something that someone said is the magic of Christmas is always there, and that's all that
Hmm.
matters. And
Yeah,
so I will use, I mean, even, and it's true. I believe that magic. Um,
I think so. I think it's fun as they get older, you can
and
kind of see that they can become the magic instead
yeah,
of just experiencing it. And that's been a lot of fun, I think, for our oldest. And now the little one
yeah,
gets to do that too. Like, what can we do to be magic for each other? And really, for me, it's just about family time. Like,
Yes.
let's just go have fun.
And you are such a good mom.
Oh,
Do not,
you're a good mom.
you are such a good mom to those kids. I can just see the way that you communicate and they talk. So just, he did ask, I mean, my daughter is a realist as well. I'm learning that. And she's not even 5 and she's a realist. Like she will tell you, um, like we just had one of our goats die last week,
Mm,
the baby one, my baby goat, and I had to tell her about it. And she wrote a letter and she wanted to know where we buried the baby goat. And she tells people about it. And she knows like the goats, I mean, in heaven. She knows about her
mm,
sisters being in heaven, my parents, who she's never met before. Like she will tell you. And one of the things I mention a lot and me and you've talked is like I want her to know that no matter what happens here on earth to any of us, like we're all going to be together again. Because I think, like, I just remember my niece after we lost my parents, like she was little, but it was so close. I mean, they were 7 years apart, but losing, your granddad and then your grandma, and then, I was living in a different state. Like, I feel like she sort of felt like, oh my goodness, it was, like made her nervous, right? And I
yeah.
remember her telling me that. And no, she believes in heaven too, but it stuck out to me to be where like, okay, whenever I just want my daughter to know, like, this is
Hmm.
not the end all be all. I mean, if
Right.
you're
Have that
as
reassurance
far as
if
our
you're in
faith,
Christ. Yeah.
right? If as far as faith, right? And I think that so many times, even with Hustle and Bustle Christmas and the gifts and what we're buying and what we're doing, we all get caught up in that. Like,
Yeah.
you
For sure.
know?
Yeah.
And so really in this season, someone asked me what my um New Year's resolution would be, right? Like recently. And I think it was to just stay in this continuum of like trying to stay peaceful and like my mental mind, like keeping it as peaceful as I can and like remembering that like nothing is like permanent.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what freaks us out. Like even talking earlier about scheduling and
Mm,
like, right? Like what you're worried about. When are you going to do the housework? When are you going to do this video? When are we going to do this? And we sit and we think about it. We get paralyzed in it. And then we don't do anything because we're just like thinking about it. But then just take a moment and be like, this is 20 minutes. It's okay. Like, I don't know, but just to say it out loud and just remember this isn't permanent. This feeling will pass. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's what I've been learning lately because so many times in the past I just kind of like freak out about stuff and I think about it, I spiral about it, and then it just like ruins my day or I can't
Mm.
you're stuck in the spiral of it. Um,
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm still reading my Stop the Spiral devotional. I have missed a few days, but I picked it back up this morning and my brain was just, it's crazy how different I feel if I don't read that one morning or a few, I missed a few days. I was
what
sick and then the
was
holidays. And
okay.
then I pick it back up and I'm like, oh, my brain really needs this every day. And I've already thought, I think I'm about halfway through it, but I've already thought once I complete it, I'd probably just pick it up and keep going through it again. It's kind of like with the daily Bible reading stuff.
Yeah,
I'll probably just keep it on a spiral, uh, not to be funny, but
it was funny.
I feel it's good. Like it's been really good for my mindset. So
Do
yeah,
you know who Rick Warren is? Have you heard of you probably know who that is, Rick
I've heard the
Warren?
name.
I've been listening to some of his stuff and they're like short little 20-minute podcast episodes. And I didn't realize one of his children died by suicide. And
Oh,
today I listened to one and it was about like how things don't go as planned, right?
mhm,
They're not as planned. You have these plans that happen, they fall through, him being a minister. And then like, he's like, I've buried people, it's different than whenever you lose a parent or you lose a child or you lose a spouse, like it's all different things. But then you lose a child and then the child took the life and then it's this thing. And I wasn't realizing that's what it was going to be about. And I was like, oh my goodness, it just made me kind of pause today and just think
mm,
about like the nothing's permanent type of thing. And then even someone
yeah,
being so big in that world of evangelism, having to like go through this and not losing his faith through it. And
yeah,
they interviewed him and his wife, and they were talking about like, were you ever mad at God? And or did you ever blame
mm,
God? And the answer was no, I don't understand why this happened. And sometimes I like didn't pray and but God is
mm,
a good God. I don't know where this was went this way, but just saying like the nothingness permanent, like
yeah,
even when you get in a fight with your husband or your kids do something or whatever, like it's just that nothing permanent. Like it's keep
yeah.
remembering that, like
It's
we get
interesting that, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, and I don't know why that correlated to me because it's even like this family who has he's a minister, he's doing all these things, like even he's going to have to preach about like that happening. Then they're talking about their son being in heaven, like nothing's permanent.
Yeah,
Get it? Like there's nothing. So we get in a fight. We sit here and we get stuck about a business plan. We get worried about the appointments that we have. Like if I could just stop myself in those moments and say, hey, This is going to pass. Nothing's permanent. Maybe I can get myself out of it. I don't know where this came from, but I wanted to talk to you
Hmm.
about that.
No, I really like that because I was actually thinking about that a couple days ago. I don't remember which days because they're all kind of blurred together in my head right now. But I was actually thinking about that same thing about how these things can happen, and it's maybe on a little different track. So reroute me if I'm going the wrong direction. But I was thinking about like, you can live through tragedies and certain events, and like you can wake up the next day and like, you know what, today's a new day. Like, because if you live in the past, right, they say is remind me which one is which. Like if you live in the past, that's when we can have depression. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance around depression, so I'm not trying to like minimize it.
Yeah.
But living in the past, they say can cause like depressive tendencies. Living too far in the future can cause anxiety, and so we just have to live right now, which is so interesting because there's scripture that talks about just worry about today because tomorrow will take care of itself. And I think in our
Mm.
culture, we're so primed to worry about tomorrow and the next day and 10 years from now. And what does your 401k look like? And your retirement and your kids' college funds and all of these things. And it's like, consider the lilies of the field, consider the ravens. Like God takes care of them, feeds them, clothes them. They don't worry about tomorrow. They just live in today. And like to actually try to do that in our modern culture, especially, so difficult. But I think I've been learning it a little bit this year with a job change. Um, And I will say, when I am able to do that, even for a little bit, it just things go so much better. They just really do.
And and to your point, nothing's permanent. You can
Yeah.
plan for all your things and you can put millions of dollars in savings and then tomorrow walk outside and disappear. And that's
Yeah. You
happened.
mean
And
like,
like
you
for I'm
mean
not
like you, oh, go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you mean like you can have a career that somebody tells you, like, this is the most job security you'll ever have, and do that for a decade, and then move up into another agency, and then get to work from home. And then after 3 years, somebody out of the blue is just gonna be like, can't do that anymore. Sorry. And then you have to leave your job, but kind of like that.
She's talking about herself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, or you
crazy.
you you plan a future. Like I was thinking about it the other day, if Thanksgiving, because holidays bring it up, like if our plans would have been what they were, I would have had a 4.5, about a 3-year old
Mm,
and a 7-month old right now.
yeah.
And each of those things that which by the way, I would have loved for that to happen, but also I'm like, oh my goodness, I would have been a lot of things, but I would have been
You
blessed.
would have been so good at it, but I
But
know what you're
like,
saying.
but you just and in the middle of it, I mean, you hear people that like lose babies or spouses or
Yeah,
parents, but like when things like that happen, it's you don't plan for that. You don't
right.
like I was going to the doctor's appointments. Everything was going fine. Like I literally heard all the heartbeats. I mean, it was Lily. Like, I mean, she was alive until we had her, and you don't plan, nothing's permanent. Like, and I think that
Right.
for me, God has helped mold me to do this like over like a lot of things have happened in life. Maybe I don't know, being adopted, my parents, the babies, the accident, walking again. Um, but even
Yeah.
to your point of what you just said, I still sometimes get a little shook when things happen. And at what point where Jen's like, okay, Jen, like this, like get it together, like
Yeah, we should know by now.
we're good. But
Yeah.
it's our humanity, and it's
Yeah.
and I think that's why it's so important to have people in your circle that you could talk to about it. Because I want a realist. I want someone like you in my corner when I have these questions, or especially I know that this is a big transition. We can transition to this with our jobs. I was actually talking to someone today in the waiting room as I was getting um an MRI on my elbow. She was a mom, she had 4 kids, twin boys, both 22, two younger daughters. We're having this conversation about life, and she was talking about how like her boys just like everything she said to do, like they did opposite. Both it's what it is. And we were talking about that dynamic and how as a parent, you can want all the things and it doesn't matter what you want, doesn't matter how you raise them, they're going to be their own human, right? And how like letting go of that control. And it just made me think, I have a niece who's also 26, she's great. But like we've had conversations and she'll do something like, oh, I wish you would have done this or whatever. Not that it's a bad or good thing. And then Alex like, can you imagine when it's your own kid? Can you imagine when it's your own kid? And
Hmm.
luckily the girls are, my nieces are in their own life and they're doing good. But I can't imagine the time the other day my daughter got a present from one of her cousins and said, I don't like this present. I don't want it. I was mortified. I mean, I had a conversation with her,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's one of those things you can't control what your kids say. You can't control what they do.
No. And she
Again,
was being honest.
yeah,
And who are we to tell them not to be honest? They don't
I know.
understand. They're not born with all those like cultural
No,
nuances and like
but
rules.
I can only imagine when she is 13 or 16 or 22 and I'm trying to do the things. But again,
Mm,
nothing's permanent. I'm going to go back to that. Nothing's permanent. Even if they make I mean, some things are permanent. Death is permanent. It is. I mean, I believe
for
I'm going
sure.
to heaven.
Absolutely.
But I'm sorry, like circumstances,
Right. Like on this side, like in this life.
yes.
Not like you have you heard that song Unsinkable Ships Sink? I always think about that. Like, oh, this thing that you literally thought could never happen, and it did. And then the choice is just like, now, what are you gonna do next? You
What are you
know?
going to do? I was talking to her in the waiting room. And so before we had my little girl, we were living in the city. We just remodeled the house. We just sold our house. And we found out that we were pregnant. We bought a brand new camper and we're moving to raw land. That was our life then. And looking back, thinking the easiest would have been to take the money that we got from the house, stay in town, and have the baby there in the house, not move into a camper on raw land with no water or electricity. And I remember people being like, what are you doing? Like I was 38 years old, 37. Yeah, whatever, 37, 38, doing working from a camper. But looking back, I am so glad that we trusted God and that we did it. And I know you have similar stories. Like I'm so glad because some of my most peaceful moments were in that camper pregnant with my husband and four dogs, watching our barn
Mm.
dominium slowly get built and lots of pauses there, but it finally got built. Some of my best moments was 2 years ago when I had a toddler doing renovations in a construction zone. Literally, like I have moms. It's so funny. It's like, oh my gosh, don't touch the ground. Well, the video, you saw it probably today, if I sent it to you, but she was literally like, there was no door and there's a tarp and there's
Oh yeah,
like there's just
there's
everything.
like insulation and
That was our life for almost a year with her. But I feel like God did that to me because if I feel like I could have been one of these city moms who would have been super helicopter, like whatever, and I don't have a choice. I couldn't be that way out here. I would have gone insane. So I had to let it go and know that
yeah,
nothing is permanent. And here we are. Not that it was easy because sometimes I'm like, oh my, like what? But at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? I just had to make sure she was safe and keep an eye
yeah,
on her. And
yeah.
she
You
learned
learn
not
to
to
be
touch
really
things.
flexible and adapt, and like I feel like that probably made her like it'll be interesting to see her as she grows up because like just seeing where she lives and all the things she gets to go out and do during the day and like the goats and the land and like she's gonna be a tough lady for sure
Yeah.
in a good way.
Nothing's, yeah, in a good way. You're a tough lady.
No, I don't know about that, but it seemed like there's something you said. I don't know. You were talking about control, and I think that was the word that was coming up for me too when you were sharing some of your stories, like, ooh, that control. But just be prepared because it's like childhood is the time when you teach the lessons and ingrain the truths and all of those things. But around like 12, 13, it starts to flip a little bit more into like, okay, now start to maybe not fully spread your wings, but like, let's see if you have some muscle in those wings and you have to start kind of letting them make their choices and then live with the consequences of their choices. And it just flips on you. Feels like overnight. It's like a whole new world. So be ready.
Well, and by the time she's that age, they're going to be like in high school or
Maybe old.
college.
Yeah. My
What is one
oldest
of
will be
your,
21 probably.
that's, we're getting old.
I know.
Like
That's
that's what I said.
okay.
So I got an MRI. I haven't been able to lift weights in 2 months. And for me, I mean, I really like the weight training and it's been really hard,
Mm.
honestly, not to. I've been walking elliptical, whatever, but I told her today, I was like, the body's gonna tell me I'm getting old. And like I tweaked something, most of a 10-pound weight. She started laughing. But I mean, it's the truth. Our bodies are changing.
Yeah.
We're not able to do things that we used to do. But also with that said, for me, like exercise, I really use that. Well, probably since mom died, especially, but I really use exercise and running and lifting to help me mentally get through those times, to clear my head a little bit. And so I also think that God has slowed me down a few times. I don't think he slowed me down, but things have happened to slow me down. Where it's like, hey, you can't keep running mentally. Like you need to stop. You need to study. You need
Mm.
to pray. You need to go to church. You need to go to therapy because there's like a whole balance there of that as well. So,
Yeah, for sure.
which is
For sure.
also why when we get sick, not that you were sick, because I'm sorry you missed Thanksgiving, but maybe it's like, hey, you gotta rest. Like you need to get in bed and rest. Even though I'm sorry. Were you okay last week?
Yeah.
Did you get depressed? Like or you just wasn't feeling good with the holidays? Are you
I
okay?
get frustrated. It's hard for me in my mind to be down like that because like maybe I can, like lay down and watch a movie or a show or two, but I get really bored in my mind and then I end up with guilt of like my kids were out of school all week and I had things that I wanted to go do with them.
Yeah.
and none of those things happened. We were supposed to host at my house, which is like my favorite thing every year is to host Thanksgiving here, and I didn't get to do that. And then while I was sitting around, I just had this like voice in my head that's like, you're not getting anything done. All these things are piling up. You're being lazy. And so it's not a lot of fun. So
Why do we do that to ourselves? Why do those thoughts come?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I grew up with the like work, 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 work. Like your whole worth is in your work. You should always be working. Don't ever depend on anybody. Don't be lazy, which there's a lot of truth to that. So I'm not saying
Hmm.
that's necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's trying to learn that balance maybe of work hard, but also I think as an adult, I've been learning more like the rhythm of rest, like
Right.
Sabbathing on the weekends, of like trying to shut down my work by like a certain, because now I don't have that schedule. Like I don't have a set schedule from a boss, you know, and so I try to set my own boundaries around like shut down my work by this time so I can have family time and things like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
get that.
definitely difficult mentally. I don't enjoy like when I was younger, it was probably like, ooh, I get to have a couple sick days and lay around and chill, but I don't enjoy it at all anymore. And actually, yesterday, it's been getting dark before 6 and it's really cold. And when it gets like that, I feel like, oh, I just want to like hibernate. I want to like get in bed early and go to sleep. And I made myself go to the gym and I felt a lot better. So,
Good.
but it felt kind of weird going out after dark in the cold to the
Ah,
gym. But I'm glad I did it. I felt a lot better and I need to do it more often.
so that is one thing that I will say that I've learned over the years is, doing stuff that you don't want to do, right? Like even today, I'm like, oh, should we
Oh,
do this a
yeah.
different day? But it's like, no, like sometimes, and then there are times too where you do need to take a moment and not.
Yeah.
And I think it's a whole boundary and it's a whole just knowing yourself. And like I've said this a few times, we just talked about it a little bit ago. Now that we don't have a job, like with a boss or managers, even though we have more time, I feel that I am more busy now than I was when I had a full-time remote position with a newborn with me all day. Reason being because things were scheduled. I had meetings scheduled during her naps. I had meetings here. You had this, so you had a little checklist. Then I had my time with her. I was probably more intentional with her as well, more present because then those times I did have, I was very focused. And so now it's more open, but it is about those boundaries. So my feelings. So like a lot of times when I'm with her, like unless I'm taking like a picture or something, like I don't have my phone. My phone is on do not disturb 85% of the time. People get so annoyed with me because it's always on do not disturb. But I'm also like, if I need to check, if she's with my family with me, like I don't need my phone.
Yeah.
If there's an emergency again, then nothing permanent, like nothing of this earth, like if something's that big of a deal, there's 911. Sorry, like that may sound selfish, but like no one, I don't feel like I'm getting to a point now, maybe it's my age, but I don't feel that anyone, including myself, is important enough to go, like, I need your attention right now all the time. I just don't. I don't want anyone to feel that way about me.
Mm,
And I don't want to feel that way about anyone else. And that
I
has been a
like
shift this
that.
year. There's
I like that.
911. There's not, you do not need your phone. Like now, my husband for his work, he does have to have his phone like off hours or whatever.
Yeah.
There are certain times he does. Um,
Yeah, or you two should
but
be able to get a hold of each other, but like everybody
yes,
else could
but if
be
he's with
forgotten.
me and I'm with my child, well, you know this, I'll go put turn my phone off for 10 hours sometimes. I've
Yeah,
done it. And I'm like, and
we,
not to be rude, because I love you, I love my family, but it's also like you're also 3 hours away. If there's an emergency, like what, like I don't know that a lot of people don't look at it like that. A lot of like, I can't ever do that. I'm like, I mean, you could, you just choose
yeah.
not to.
Well, think about how nice it was. I mean, think about what it's done to us, like mentally and emotionally, to have our phones on us all the time. We used to not. We used to have the phone was on the wall in the kitchen
And you would
with
leave
a
in your
cord.
car. You'd leave in your car. You
Oh
go
yeah, when we
somewhere.
finally did get cell phones, it was like a car phone. You definitely didn't carry it around. You couldn't
But
be
think about,
texted. There was no ads. There was no politics. Even when Facebook came out, like there were no ads. There were no politics. There were no like parents. Like it was just college kids. Like
yeah,
I
I
remember
was
when you
what,
sent me the link for Facebook, and for a long time I sat on it and I was like, I don't know. It seems really weird. I could see this starting as a small college thing and becoming like a very big kind of creepy thing. And I think I think it did. But I got in
but
it
it
anyway.
is. And it can be a good thing. But again, I'm going to go back to the nothing's permanent. So why should we sit here and think that like doing the Facebook and I like social media, it's fine. It's just like we're so involved. Like, why do we feel that everybody deserves all of our attention all the time?
Yeah,
And that's a real
I
thing.
like
And
that.
I'm guilty of it. Okay. But I also I'm really coming to this thing, like the not being attached to things of this world, not being attached to our phone, not being attached to things being the way they are all the time. Something,
Mm,
and maybe it is my losses. Maybe it's the last 5 years of my life and like not having control of things and like just being totally broken and building myself or God building me up to this space. But And I still lean in because sometimes I do get anxious, like, I wonder what they're doing, or do they need me? Like my friend's really going through a hard time. Maybe I should
Yeah,
have my phone. And sometimes you do have seasons like that where I'm like, okay, if you're going through something, like maybe you need me to check in on you more. But ultimately, like we should not be depending on each other for that.
right,
We should be depending on God for that, or and so I'm
right. It's
really
made us
leaning into
more
that,
codependent. We need less of that.
and I'm trying. And you and
Yeah,
I people know you've known that about me for a while. Like I'm like, oh, I'm going to the lease. I'm going to the lease. I'm turning my phone off for some time. You're like, oh, okay. And I do. I'll turn it off for like five or
yeah,
six. I just turn it because
great.
something about turning it off, not just putting it, turning it off. I don't know. Something's just
Yeah,
kind of
then you're not
freeing
like
about that.
tempted to look at maybe. Yeah, I need to do that more often. We went somewhere a few weeks ago. I wish I could remember where we were, but we got on the road and I was like, I don't have my phone. I think we went out of town. I can almost see it in my head, but I can't think of it right now. Anyway, we were probably like an hour and a half out of. Oh, I'll tell you where we went. We went to Stillwater,
Oh,
and
the
we
family
went.
thing.
Yeah, we went up there. We took a little road trip. We try to do a baseball game every year, and I missed out on the one that was in Oklahoma City because it was too late in the season. And there was like one game at OSU, and it was like a postseason game. We got there, and it was free to go in. It was so great. We ate at Eskimo Joe's. We had a great time. Weather was perfect. Like it was beautiful. But so that's like an hour and a half or more away, I think. And we got on the road and I was like, I don't have my phone. I couldn't check my phone. Like I couldn't check my email. I couldn't check my social media. Why do I even feel the need? Like why? I know there's a lot of like, I don't know, like shows and different things out there that talk about like the neuroscience of it and the dopamine hit and like it really is an addiction for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like
It's for everybody. It's for
if I'm
everybody.
sitting there and like say even I we do well to like stay off of our phones at the table, like we don't do that. But like if we're in the car, we're sitting for an hour and a half, that's normally what I'm doing. But a lot of times I'm working on stuff for the family. Like I'm checking like my Amazon subscribe and save to make sure we have certain groceries, or like checking everybody's schedule, like getting the mom things done. But it was painful.
Was it? Did you eventually like accept it, or how did you eventually like feel okay with it?
Yeah, it was super freeing. It's weird. It's like I could feel the addictive nature in me, kind of like reaching for it at different times. And like we waited for a table at Eskimo Joe's for a while. And then, like everybody's kind of wandering around shopping and I was kind of sitting down. Like that's a time where I would normally pull out my phone. But I was just like, what do I do? Like, what do I do with my hands? Like, what do I do with my life?
I
It
love
was
it.
great.
I think I'm going to challenge you. Let's challenge each other. I love this is like I love that. I
Yeah.
love putting my phone. A lot of times I'll put my phone down around 6 o'clock and not pick it up until the next morning. I really try not to sleep with my phone in my room with me anymore. I've been doing that a while. Sometimes I don't like the other day I woke up at 2 in the morning. I could not go back to sleep and I got my phone. And as I do it, I'm like, I shouldn't do this, but I did it anyway. So listen, but I do feel like it's up to ourselves to monitor and do our own boundaries, whether it's a phone, whether it's a person, whether it's or whatever it is. And there's nothing wrong with having those things. But I just know for me, my peace has come more by letting go of the attachment with people or the phone or the attachment of like, this is permanent in this world, like this job, these people, these friends. Like, it's not that I'm in this space of like, ooh, I don't care about people. I love people. I love helping, but I'm just talking about the attachment of it or the thought of you're going to have this job and you're going to retire and here we are. We're going to do all these things. And then you don't like, because here's the thing, everything in life is tangible. The only thing that's ever stable is our faith in God, and that is it. And the reason that we're both standing right now, because we've both been through some hell, is because of that faith.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to go to these holidays and even to this new year, really doing that. And I love these conversations. So thank you. Today was all over. I'm it'll be interesting to see what my editor, aka Jamie Dawn, does. But thank you. Thanks for chatting with me. And I know today we were both kind of off and tired, but I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm actually glad we talked about that because you do that so well, like the disconnecting. You always prioritize like God, husband, daughter, everybody else after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to start
Sometimes
therapist.
I do it. Sometimes I do notice when I'm going through certain emotions, I don't do that. It actually has it hanging. I literally have to like, I look at it. It's kind of like you with the spiral notebook. If I don't look at it every day,
Look,
forget you have it too. Like what your priorities. And I also
yep.
do fun's in there too. Like I'm not trying to go through this life and not have some fun in it. But
Oh yeah.
I've been always trying to have some fun. Like I'm not, like we
Yeah.
have some fun out here. You know that. And you do too. Like you have to play.
Yeah,
Like,
for
okay.
sure. You have to let go of the schedule, let go of the things and have a good time. No, I know, but I do want to say you're very good at like disconnecting from your phone. I think it's a good thing. I always am respectful of it. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I think it's great that you do that and it sets a good example and it reminds me too. So thank you for doing that.
Well, when we get together for in person, we'll just put our phones up. That,
No, we'll probably be sitting there like looking things up, like, what are we gonna
I
do?
know, I
No,
know.
we'll put them up. You know, I think I like the idea of not having my phone in my room. So do you just use an alarm clock?
So yeah, so there's you can go to Amazon. Actually, a friend that gave me this one that I have is just like a little sound machine uh clock. You can get it on Amazon for like $10.
Really?
But also I went through a phase where I didn't even have a clock in my room for like three
Oh,
months because I literally I wake up every day by 5 a.m.
oh, well, I
But
can't do
that's just
that.
me, right? But that's just my I that's nothing. I don't that's not bragging about that. I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
But
You're just saying you don't need it.
I don't, but I have one now because there are some things like if I need to get up for, but I'm always just like literally, I can't tell you the last time that I set an alarm because I just wake up
Wow.
by 4:30. I can't, unless I have like an 8 a.m. appointment that I just am nervous about missing. I have not
Mm.
set an alarm, even like when I was working last year. Like I didn't have to. I would just wake up at 5 a.m. because your body gets used to that.
Yeah. Not me. I don't know.
I know. I don't know why. My husband's not like that either. He's like, I don't know what is going on with you,
Do you
but
guys go to sleep early?
like, no, last night I went to bed at like 10:30. I usually like
Okay.
to, but last night, but I woke up at 4:30 today. Actually, I
Yeah.
didn't sleep very well last night because I had coffee late yesterday. So anyway, but
Oh,
normally I like to go to bed. But even if I go to bed at 11, I will still wake up at like 4:30. I don't, it's just,
wow.
if
It's
I
just your
sleep until,
clock, your internal clock.
if I sleep till 6 o'clock, that is sleeping in for me.
Wow.
I know. And
Yeah.
I don't have to get up that early anymore.
I wish I could do that. I will say when I switched out of my job, I did start getting up a little early. Like I was getting up by like 6:15 every day. I don't tell my old boss. Well, I guess it's okay now because I don't work there. But I had to be on at 6:30. I would get up at like 6:15 sometimes. But
But
even after I moved out of that job, I would still get up early and take care of
yeah,
my
I
people.
know when I have to have my time in the morning. I have to. I've always, even before my daughter, I've always had to be awake an hour early to do whatever it was, whether it was working out, going on a walk, whether it was reading my Bible. I always have to have that time. I've just been like that for as
Yeah.
long as I can remember. I don't really know why. And then with her, with my schedule, I just know I'm a better mom if I get my own time. Even if it's 30 minutes before she gets up, it doesn't have to be an hour. It's just some time. But
Yeah.
for doing that for many years and then working with her, then she was a newborn, so I was up anyways. My body just does that now. And again, I'm not really bragging about it because sometimes I'm like, this is like you need like you can sleep, but I don't maybe I just don't need that. But I
Yeah.
wish that I could sleep long. But my husband really wishes I could sleep longer sometimes. We don't have a very big space in here. He's like, oh my, he's like, I don't do dishes in the morning when I get up. I used to do
Yeah.
dishes and mop, and he's like, listen, you can just don't do dishes because it's like right, our room's right up by the
Oh,
kitchen.
yeah. Your husband is like, I think you are more like my husband. Like, he will just get up early. And I, like, on the days when we can sleep in, I like turn over. I'm like, where is he? And he's like, I go find him. He's like, I've been up since 5. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Alex is an early riser too now, just because he hunts and stuff. So
Yeah.
he's always up by 5. But I mean, he can sleep. Like, there's been times he'll sleep until like 8 o'clock and come in, and I've been awake since like 4. And we have to really work on that, by the way, because I'm like, but he's like, I just need a minute. Like, I really just got.
You're like, come run with me or let's go
Yeah,
do
let's
this.
go. He's like, anyway, all right, we're over
All
time.
right.
Sorry,
We
love
better
you.
go. Love
Bye.
you. Bye. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We truly hope this episode has touched your heart.
If someone came to mind while you were listening, please feel free to share this with them.
And if you have any questions or feedback for us, you can reach us at allthingsunbrokenpodcast@gmail.com.
Have an awesome day.